Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, and of all praise is to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who was wisdom? Who was the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives us more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. With all of the events that are happening worldwide to the other nations, we need to take a step back and prepare ourselves, brethren, family, for the blessings that are coming our way. As we see the Most High working to take away the blessing, the power, and the prestige of the other nations, we must understand that we also have a responsibility to prepare ourselves to be taken from the bottom to the top, being taken from the head or from the tail to the head. I had a conversation with a sister a couple of days ago, and she was talking about us actually, thinking about other things other than just our history. Now, we can definitely do all of it. We could talk about the history still, and we're still going to do that. We're going to talk about a little bit today. Some of our hidden history. We're still going to be talking about what's going on with the Gentiles, but we also need to be preparing ourselves to become the kings and the queens, the princes, princesses, and the stewards of the earth once more. And a lot of this information in these other books will also help us to remember ourselves, remember who we were, and how the Most High is going to raise us up to those positions once again. But then we need to make sure that we're preparing ourselves for those blessings. It's not just going to work that one day we're going to be, where we're at now, and all of a sudden we might be just transformed into something else. We need to be actually making sure that we're praying to the Most High, getting direction, getting ready to pool our resources, pool our intellectual capital as well as our physical capital, as well as our spiritual capital. The Most High has us all in these different parts of lives, and the different parts of society, preparing us to becoming the kings and queens and the stewards of the earth once again. And I want to read a little bit to you because this kind of shows you how we were before. And see, the other nations just copied a lot of the things that we used to do and act as if they've always had these positions. And we know that is not true. So today we're going to be getting into the Druidism book right here. I've been sharing like some of this on Patreon. I'm going to share some more. Actually, sharing quite a bit more. But check this part out right here. We're going to take a look here at the middle paragraph there. See here. Where it says the druid sitting as judge also wore a golden tiara upon his head. Okay, hold on fast. And two official rings on his right hand fingers. Okay, on ordinary occasions, the cap worn by the druid had on the front a golden representation of the sun under a half moon of silver, supported by two druids, one at each cusp, okay, and an inclined position. The Irish druid wore a long crimson robe over which was a shorter one, and suspended at his side, okay, was his druid's knife. He wore a white cap, okay, in shape and appearance like a fan. It was ornamented, okay, with a gold plate. The British archdruid wore over his ordinary robes a white mantle edged with gold. Around his neck was a golden chain from which was suspended a golden plate, inscribed with the words, "The gods require sacrifice." J.C. Walker, in his historical essay on the dress of the Irish, says that when the Druids hold on, were employed in sacrifice and other solemn ceremonies, they were, okay, behind an oak, let me say, leaved crowned, a golden crescent with buttons at the extremities, through which a string was drawn that served to fasten it behind. Several of these crescents have been found in Irish bogs. The dress of the Druids was uniformly and universally a white garment, emblematic of the affected purity of their mind, in order to render their appearance more venerable and imposing. They encouraged their beards to flow on their breasts. So long beards as well, right? His seemly beard to grace his form bestowed, descending descent on his bosom flowed. His robe of purest white, though rudely joined, yet showed an emblem of the purest mind. Stern virtue, beaming in the eye, controlled each wayward purpose, and Erod the bold. It is also established that in many instances priesthood was hereditary, and that a special name was given to a priestly family. Thus, the following was written by Ausonius in honor of Adius Patera. So as you can see, there's a whole lot of things here that support like our Levitical priesthood right here, and these druids. You got the long beards. You got it following down, a certain bloodline. You got certain things that they're supposed to wear and how they're supposed to actually go about actually going through all of these different sacrifices or things that they had to take care of. See, these are the kinds of things that we need to be. Yes, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna see. We're gonna be able to think about these certain things. We're gonna be able to remember the things that we used to do. But those are the things we need to prepare ourselves for. We need to get ready to prepare ourselves for these types of positions. Remember, the whole world is waiting for the Most High to actually put our people back on top. We need to make sure that as a people, we're getting ourselves prepared for these kinds of positions. The Most High has the Holy Spirit working through each and every one of us, getting us prepared for what it is our duties are going to be in the kingdom. Remember now, the whole world right now is mourning because the wicked is in rule. I'm sure many of them have had their time, and they're pretty much sick and tired of the wicked being in rule just as much as we are. So now's the time for us to be thinking about what are we going to do for the kingdom? How is the Most High going to use us? How have I been prepared over the course of my life to be used in order to serve the Most High? And we say when we read these kinds of excerpts from books, we got to realize that this is what the Most High is going to move us back to, being in a position to be used to be the representatives of the Most High here on earth. The animals are being destroyed. The forests are being destroyed. The air is being polluted. The water is polluted. All because the wicked are in rule. The wicked use the resources for their benefit alone. They use the resources in order to enrich themselves. The Most High has us here and is going to put us back on top in order to create balance once again in the earth. Trying to sit here and just accumulate as much money for ourselves, in order just for us just to enjoy it for ourselves is not in our nature. We are here to do the Most High's will. The Most High did not set up this earth to be used that way. So now that we're seeing the Most High is taking the power and taking their authority away from them, and we got to make sure that we're prepared and know that once we are raised back up, that comes with a great responsibility. And the Most High is about law and order and rules, and He's going to set that up once again. So these books, and these excerpts and these paragraphs here and there helps us to remember who we were before our fall. It helps us to remember how the Most High is going to raise us up. Okay, and with that comes the responsibility again of doing the Most High's will here on the earth. So we got time to definitely keep looking. We're going to definitely get into the books, get into other information, as well as look at what's going on right now, but also to take this information that we're getting and apply it for the future. Remember, our nation were great businessmen. We had the resources. We have the resources that the whole world wanted. We had the trade routes. We had our ships. So see, they've taken us out of our power structure and made us like a laughing stock with the music, with the education. And they made it seem as if they've always been the ones that have been controlling the business of the earth, when that was a blessing given to us. That was a blessing that was given to us, taken away, but is going to be given back. So we're not going to be the people of unjust weights, trying to screw everybody over. That's what the wicked have done. And that's why the world is in such an uproar. So just remember that. Like I said, we are the businessmen. We're the ones that, do fair deals. We're the ones who going to actually going to be working with, through the power of the Most High in order to make the world work the way He intended. So that's also like set other things to think about, being fair. When the Most High has already given you everything, there's no need to try to cheat people out of everything else that they might have. The Most High has blessed us with everything, gave us the Americas here that have all of these resources, and all the rest of the world, has had their time to take the things from the resources here, but they've been using them for their own gain. The Most High will definitely, reconstitute the priesthood. The Most High is going to run everything. He's going to raise up the 12 tribes once again. We have our attributes. All 12 tribes has their different attributes. All 12 tribes has, the things that they're supposed to be working on and accomplishing. When you read the Testament of the 12, it talks about, each tribe and their attributes. And the Most High is going to set everything back up the way He had it in the first place. But as you can see, the other nations got their hold of our resources and have used all just pretty much just use all the resources for their gain, for the gain of the few. And that's not what the Most High had wanted in the first place. Just think about Solomon, a great businessman as well. People came to him when they had problems, came to him when they had disputes. Same thing with Enoch. The Most High, all the other nations came to Enoch and asked him to rule over them because they knew that he would do it justly. When we're back on top, the rest of the nations will be coming and bringing, their sacrifices and bringing things to us 24/7. they will want us to teach them the ways of the Most High. So, like I said, we just can't concentrate on just the history and then, but not, we can look at the history, but we need to actually start to think about how we're going to use that information to prepare ourselves for the future. That would be like the next step. Yes, we're getting this information of who we are. Most High's going to give us more information on who we are. Now we need to prepare ourselves for the blessings, because what's going to happen now is the blessings are going to come back on us. And then we must do a much better job distributing those blessings, using those blessings for the good of our nation, and the others that are cleaving to us and to the world. How the Most High has everything set up for us. So that now our responsibility is coming into play. What we need to do to prepare ourselves, what we need to do to know that once the Most High starts to bring these blessings to us, we have to be prepared to receive the blessings and know what the Most High wants us to do with them. So now, as we watching the other nations fall, and that's going to accelerate. Remember, as we grow as a people, the Most High is going to, accelerate the destruction of the others. So as He's destroying the others, those resources and everything are becoming back to us. So what do we do with them? That's what we need to be preparing ourselves for. And I'm sure as we prepare ourselves for that, more blessings will be coming to us. So now let's start to think about what we can do as a people to prepare ourselves for the blessings that are to come. Because the blessings are coming. That's already been prophesied. The destruction of our enemies is already happening, and it's going to accelerate even more. So how do we prepare for the Most High for the blessings of the Most High? That would be like the next step that we need to do, and we need to actually make sure we're studying and bringing that information together, because great blessings are coming our way, and it's an absolutely beautiful time to be alive. And like I said, now we're just waiting for the Most High, waiting for the Holy Spirit to lead us to that next step. And the next step would just be preparing for the blessings that are coming and just remembering who we were before. That's why they've done such a good job of hiding all this information, because they didn't want us to realize who we were and our responsibilities to the world. So we need to prepare ourselves right now for that. All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. Shalom.